Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment is brought to you by A.G. Hines Company. When you have a home improvement project that you're starting, your first thought should be A.G. Hines Company. Materials, tools, expertise, they offer it all. Be smart, go local with A.G. Hines Company. All right, guys, December 30th, Tennessee will play in the Orange Bowl against Clemson. I've thought here the last few years, especially the last few weeks, Tennessee fans have wanted a piece of Clemson. Now, maybe in a different setting, but it is a New Year's Six Bowl. It is the Orange Bowl, so there's going to be a lot of orange there. Tennessee's 10-2, opt-outs to figure out. We can get to that as well. But what do you guys think about the matchup? Is it a proper reward for Tennessee to close out the season in the Orange Bowl against Clemson, the top team from the ACC?
I think so. I think when you look at both teams, both teams had a chance to get into the playoff. Both teams lost to South Carolina late, like a week after each other.
Yep.
You got the flipping burgers comment from Dabo Swinney. And
you want them both to wear orange helmets so they can battle it out for the orange
helmets? No. We're not wearing the orange helmets. The orange helmet. You had one shot to wear those. It didn't work out right. We going back to the white ones.
But get buried on South Beach.
Exactly. We can donate those. I do think it's going to be a really good matchup. I think both teams will be up for it. Like you mentioned, there's going to be some holdouts. But I think when you look at it, they've lost their starting quarterback to the transfer portal. I don't think he'll be playing. I think it's a fairly even matchup, and it still ought to be an exciting matchup. I know I'll be in front of my TV watching it because it's Clemson. So they've been at the top. They won a national championship. Tennessee's trying to get to that point. And so why not finish out the season by beating a nationally ranked Clemson team in a big stage?
I think it'll be easily one of the more marketable bowls that's not in the playoffs just because of the names, what everybody knows about it. But the really crazy thing is not really knowing where anybody sits. If Hendon Hooker's in the game and Clemson's starting quarterback hadn't hit the transfer portal, I look at it and go, Tennessee's probably going to win by 14. Now you have both starting quarterbacks removed, and you're sitting there going, well, who's got the advantage? This is kind of really more of an unknown team to me, especially when you see who's going to leave the portal. So you really have lost kind of track, in my mind, of like who's the better team at this point.
Yeah, both fan bases are probably asking, what do we have at quarterback for next year?
Exactly.
This will give us our first idea. Joe older than they're going to have a freshman quarterback, Cade Klubnik, but still replacing to become the starter next year. Mention branding. Guys, thoughts on branding in this matchup where Clemson has been at the top here recently, winning the national title a couple of times. Tennessee has been there in the past, climbing back up, and I think the branding was shown what it can be for Tennessee, but does it matter more for Tennessee to try to knock off a recent national champ or Clemson trying to hold off Tennessee? Vince, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it is. I think part of it, look how excited the fans were at this being the best potential matchup of any of the bowls. They don't want to have anything to do with Tulane or Kansas State or anything like that. It's brand versus brand and the opportunity that it presents if you beat a brand like that, because Tennessee wants to be back relevant where it has been before. So I think that's a positive. And then obviously when you have an opportunity against a school that recruits in your area, I think that's important too.
Yeah.
They're trying to brand East Tennessee even more than they already have. Well, you're trying to hold them off and maybe get in their state on the reverse and get into Florida. So there's a lot of benefits, I think, to performing well on this stage and being where the fans think they belong.
Yeah, and Josh, to what you ask, I think it means more to Clemson.
Okay.
And I think it means more because Clemson's the favorite. They're going to be favored by, I think, right now about 6.5 points. I also liked one of the comments Dabo made when he said, in 2 years, it's going to be a playoff game. So you kind of are setting the stage for what's to come. But I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup. I think it's going to be high scoring. And remember, Tennessee is like a big-time draw on national viewership for TV ratings. They had like, what, 3 of the highest rating games. Go back to the bowl game last year, Music City Bowl with Purdue. Millions of people tuned in after the game started because they were hearing about all the points being scored. So I like the way it sets up as a high-scoring game. I think Tennessee's pass defense is going to have their hands full.
I actually think Clemson's a tougher team with Cade Klubnik.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's why I said
Yeah.
if their quarterback isn't gone, I think Tennessee is easily the hands-found favorite.
Yeah.
Because that other quarterback, I mean, let's face it, coming out of the huddle, he looks where he's going to go, and pretty much snap of the ball, he continues to look where he go. And he's done that for 2 years. We can't look anybody off.
And you know why they were playing him? Because they were going to transfer. They took him out. He was going to, and that's what he did. And the Klubnik, he's a 5-star, even though he's a freshman, and he looked really, really good.
Yeah,
And Tennessee's always got a way of making the second-string quarterback look really, really good, too.
Fans know, and I think that's what they're worried about in 19 days. But Klubnik looked like the quarterback that Clemson fans and media had been asking about. Hey, is he going to get a chance with DJ Struggles? And he gets his chance, and he gets his chance against Tennessee. We'll have more on Tennessee, Clemson, recruiting, the transfer portal. When we come back, Tennessee basketball. They've been on a good run. Let's see what happens this week. Big week coming up. We'll talk about it with Mark Pankratz. Come on back here on the Sports Source.
Miss an episode? Catch up at sportsource.tv or our YouTube channel.